Hey, what's up everyone, Johnny the Geek here, and today I'm going to be reviewing the K65 Rapidfire RGB keyboard from Corsair. This is a 10 keyless compact keyboard with a durable aluminum chassis that has a great look to it if you're into the black brushed aluminum kind of style. The keycaps have a clear lettering to allow that fully customizable RGB LEDs to shine through. There's also a soft touch wrist pad that comes with it. It's not padded, but rather it's a smooth satin and matte kind of paint job that's an absolute oily hands magnet. The spacebar has a texture design and a sliver for the LED light to shine through it. Two sets of keycaps come with this keyboard along with the keycap puller. WASD keycaps are for the FPS games and the QWERDF are for the MOBA games. Both these sets are gray and textured for your pleasure. They got rid of that Klingon sword logo and brought back the Corsair Sails logo up at the top of the keyboard. Then there are the physical buttons that controls the light output, volume mute, volume down, volume up, and the Windows lock key. On the bottom of the case you'll notice that there are no channels to route the USB cable off to the side, and that's due to the fact that the cables are way too thick. There are 4 standard rubber feet and rubber legs as well. Even the wrist rest has 3 rubber feet across it. The top front of the keyboard has a pass-through USB port and a switch that lets you select the polling rate, which is mostly irrelevant in keyboards, and the BIOS switch that when activated just makes this keyboard more compatible with using it in the old BIOS menus. You kids call it today the UEFI menu. So here's the reason for the thick ass USB cable. It's because there's 2 of them in one. There's a connection for the keyboard itself and the other is for the pass-through USB port we saw just now. Now on to the heart of the keyboard, the switches. These are the Cherry MX Speed, aka silver switches, and they are exclusive to Corsair for now. They're called speed switches because the actuation distance, or the distance you have to press the key before it registers a press, is less than other keyboards. This key only requires 1.2 millimeters of actuation, while other needs 2 millimeters of actuation. It also requires 45 grams of force, which is considered to be light. And look at this sweet floating key design they got going on here. The switch housing is clear so that all that RGB goodness can shine on through. And now for your listening pleasure, the sound test. So all this fancy RGB is controlled by the Corsair Utility Engine software, or Q. It allows you to connect and control multiple Corsair devices appearing on the bottom right of the menu. You can also sync the lighting effects on your devices, but more on that later. You can create multiple profiles for button assignments if you have specific key combinations for various games and software titles. In the Assignments sections under Profiles tab, you can assign an action to any key on the keyboard. There are no dedicated macro keys, but the Q software will allow you to assign a macro to any key. So for example, if you wanted ASDF to be assigned to a single key, you would hit the record button and start typing in your key combo. Once you're done, you press stop, and from here you can make edits to your recording, such as changing the timing between each button press. Then you save your recording and simply drag and drop it to the key you want to assign it to. Lighting profiles are customizable as well. You can highlight and select specific keys to create a static color for those keys, or you can switch the preset lighting effects. I'll go through each one of the effects at the end of this video. As I mentioned earlier, multiple Corsair RGB devices can be synced together and it looks really cool. This is probably my favorite lighting effect on here. Under the device section, you can disable the lighting, change the keyboard layout, and update the firmware when available. You can't change the polling rate through the software since there's already a physical switch. In the program section under settings, the Q software can start up with Windows as well as check for any updates to the software. Application profiles stored on the device can also be created automatically so you can carry your settings with you to someone else's computer. If customizing lighting schemes isn't your thing, then check out the Corsair RGB profile community and download one for your keyboard. And now, time for the light show.